There I was, laying in bed, eyes wide open, staring up at my dark ceiling, unable to sleep a wink. The alarm on my clock was a vestigial feature at this point because I need no help in waking this morning. The most glorious, most fantastic morning in all kiddom. Christmas morning. But the minutes are ticking away agonizingly slowly. Einstein was sure right about the relativity of time, or so I think, as I desperately wait for 6 o'clock. A time set by my parents after last year's somewhat disastrous 4 a.m. wake-up they received. But hey, I was excited. And this year, I'm more excited. But just one thought keeps running through my head like a freight train. Did Santa come, and what did the old man bring me? The question is purely academic for me at this point, as I'm old enough at 12 to realize that Santa is more of a spirit than a man. But my younger brother and sister still believe, so I try to keep up appearances for their sake. And you never know, maybe believing in this jolly old elf is what makes him real. Then suddenly, I don't think I slept but maybe, against all odds, it's time. Like Steve Williams shooting out of the block, I'm out of bed and down the stairs in a flash, beating my siblings to our stockings by a matter of nanoseconds. They're good too. Filled to the brim with goodies, we begin to rifle through our loot as my parents make their way sleepily downstairs. Socks, dumb. Chocolate coins, cool. Army men and a balsa wood airplane, nice. And lastly, the tangerine that's always at the bottom of my stocking and will sit forgotten in the corner until it turns moldy. But mom says it's tradition, so hey. As I build my sweet new plane, my eyes can't help but be drawn to that enticing pile of exquisitely wrapped gifts under our tree. I know those have to wait until after breakfast, but a boy can dream, can't he? Oh, I hope I got all I asked for.
What do you want for Christmas, little boy?
After all, I gave Mom the Sears catalog wish book and I filled it out in painful detail. I circled like all the best stuff. And when we visited the toy store downtown, the most wonderful place in the world, I pointed out everything to Dad. Surely they and Santa will have come through, but I don't know. Do any of those boxes look like they could have a Stretch Armstrong or the Evel Knievel stunt bike? Because seriously, that would be the best Christmas ever. Soon it's breakfast time. Bacon and Intamin's coffee cake, as always. And Dad puts the first Christmas record on. Dad always wants Louis Armstrong, Mom wants Dolly Parton. But as usual, us kids win out, and on goes the Alvin and the Chipmunks record.
I still want a hula hoop.
Until my parents have heard the high-pitched warbling of the Chipmunk song one too many times and threatened to break the album. Please don't break it. My post-breakfast chipmunk dancing was quite on point, but I accidentally knocked off some ornaments near the bottom of the tree. The red satin trimming ones are pretty kid-proof, and cat-proof too, actually. But Mom is giving me the stare as I notice I nearly smashed a Shiny Bright, which are Mom's favorites. And that would have certainly put a damper on my scamper. So I responsibly put the well-kept ornaments back on the tree while trying not to get burned by the nifty bubble lights that seem to blaze with the power of the sun. Finally, it's on to the main event, the moment that every kid looks forward to all year long. Presents! Dad pulls out the Polaroid camera to capture the magic as my siblings and I descend like hellions upon our gleaming piles of booty. Our family is not one of those who nicely take turns while everyone watches, no sir. Every person for themselves is the general rule, as Dad frantically snaps pics, hoping to form some sort of lasting memory from this mayhem. Out of the corner of my eye, I see my brother looking rapturously at a set of Rock'em Sock'em robots, and hear my sister squealing over her new Barbie dream house or whatever. But 99.9% of my attention is focused on the presents in front of me. And I don't care whether it's from Santa, my parents, or President Carter himself. I ripped the wrapping paper off a pretty cool new Nerf ball. I guess Mom is tired of broken lamps inside the house. And I also open a game I've never heard of called Simon. But it's not until I open my last gift that I breathe a sigh of relief. Behold, an Evel Knievel stunt motorcycle. It's exactly what I asked for. I didn't get a Stretch Armstrong, but that was always my second choice anyway. As the last of the wrapping paper settles and we gaze at our newfound wealth of toys, Mom and Dad exchange a knowing look. And Dad gets up to fetch what turns out to be one last present. This time one for all three of us kids. Being the consummate gentleman and older brother that I am, I let my brother and sister open it. But I gasp in unison when we discover the hallowed treasure that is Pong. Oh my gosh, Pong. It's an arcade game that I can play in my house on our TV. My little mind is blown. Johnny down the street got one for his birthday about a month ago, but I never thought in a million years that Mom and Dad would be cool enough to get us one. Dad is super excited and I am ecstatic. Dad quickly hooks it up and soon the five of us are bouncing off the walls, literally. After several long hours of driving toy motorcycles and bouncing white dots, of socking my brother's robot and begrudgingly playing house with my sister, the warm, sweet glow of capitalism run amok has slowly set in, and my siblings and I are laying lethargic, sprawled out on the floor. To which my mom promptly orders us outside into the freshly fallen snow. Probably more to get us out from underfoot while she gets Christmas dinner ready than any nonsense about fresh air being good for us.
You're full of it. Oh, yeah? Yeah! Well, I double dog dare ya!
No, it was serious.
But hey, we don't complain too much, because living right on top of Baker's Hill while sucking on the long treks to school is magnificent when the slope is coated with a fresh white powder of snow. We quickly grab our sleds and soon are zooming down the hill at breakneck speeds, cackling like madmen the entire way down. Once trudging back up the hill becomes tiresome, a snow fort is built, which naturally leads to an epic snowball fight. A snowball fight that ends in tears that only dry up when my brother and I promise my sister she can have the first turn at Pong when we go back inside. But all too soon, our fun is cut short. As from Mom's yells, it appears that our grandparents have arrived and dinner is almost ready. After shedding our boots lined with bread bags to keep our feet dry, snow pants and jackets, we settle in at the dining room table. Set in the middle is my mom's pride and joy, her ceramic Christmas tree collection. You know, some people collect baseball cards, some people stamps. My mom collects ceramic Christmas trees. And all 11 of them currently occupy the center of our table, including the light-up blue one my dad gave her this year. We start passing the food, and I gleefully fill my plate with beef Wellington, green bean casserole, and extra mashed potatoes, my favorite. But since both of my grandmas are here this year, there are two things I must absolutely avoid. The Jell-O mold with all the canned fruit, no. And the fruit so-called cake that more likely than not will pull your teeth right out. I'm saving my dessert stomach for my chocolate-covered cherries. And by mine, I mean my mom's, as Dad gets her a box of Queen Anne's every year. And I sneak one or two each year too. After dinner, as the winter sun slowly sets, my dad lights a fire, and the whole family sits down for one of my favorite traditions, the Christmas specials on TV. The claymation Rudolph is on at 7, followed by Frosty the Snowman, and then comes the greatest Christmas movie of them all, Charlie Brown's Christmas. And if I'm allowed to stay up, the Grinch. My entire family laughs at the island of misfit toys and Frosty prancing about town. Everyone is kind of moved by Linus's final speech. And as I look around the room at all the smiling faces, I can't help but love this holiday and everyone and everything that goes along with it. My sister drifts off to sleep first. Then my grandparents leave as my brother is also carried off to bed. When Dad picks me up, I protest I'm not sleepy. But seeing as the credits for The Grinch are playing, and I don't remember any sort of redemption, I'm pretty sure I maybe slept through the second half. As I snuggle under the covers, with snow softly falling outside, my Knievel motorcycle under my arm, and visions of sugar plum fairies dancing in my eyes, I conclude that this has been a very successful Christmas. And I cannot wait for next year. Only 364 more days. We here at Do You Remember hope you have a wonderful holiday season, and thank you for being part of our family. Please share all your family traditions in the comments below, and what was your all-time favorite Christmas gift? And as always, thank you very much for watching.